So I figured to supplement stuff that I'm doing on my blog, I would do a couple of videos kind of from time to time of of the training that I'm doing setting up for this marathon that theoretically I will be running in June. And by theoretically, I only mean that the sign up for it hasn't gone online yet. I don't think. All the websites are in Chinese. And the people whom I know who can read that much Chinese have told me that the sign up's not open yet. Um, and it doesn't look open yet to me either. Not that I would be doing bad now. Okay, so this was my second week of the actual training for the marathon running program thing that I'm doing. It comes from a book called The Non-Runner's Marathon. I've linked it before on the blog. I'll put it down in the info stuff too. It's a really good book. I really like it. It's all set up for people who don't run. The only thing is that you should be able to do about 3 miles. So it's a little under 5 kilometers. And if you can't do that, then there's information in the beginning of the book for here's a pre-running training thing, which I did a little bit of sort of just in that I started running kind of 3 or 4 days a week for a few weeks before we got to the point when Q and I decided that, oh my God, my hair is ridiculous. When Q and I decided that we would start running, we like from the time we counted out on a calendar. So this was week 2. Last week I ran all the distances are in mileage. So last week's requirement was to run a 3 mile, a 4 mile, a 3 mile, and a 5 mile run. So 4 runs, with the longest run having a rest day on either side. Not because here in the beginning the runs are really long, but because of kind of creating a schedule for yourself. Because eventually that long run will be a huge chunk of the mileage you do, like way above half, and then some, and then some. So the goal is to make a schedule for yourself now that you can stick with later. So last week, that was okay. Everything was good. I did my long run actually at the gym, which I don't really want to do because the long run is the hardest run, and running on a treadmill is just easier. You run faster. There's no head game. There's no wind. There's no hills. There's no bicycles. There's nothing. It's just on a treadmill going, and it's easier, but also boring as heck. And I don't like that. So I'd rather run outside, and the marathon itself will be outside. So this week, the weather was horrible for the first half of the week, and so I did my Wednesday run in the rain, which, well, okay, so it sucked. Like, running in the rain is not fun. But on the other hand, when you go out and it's chilly and rainy and nobody wants to be out and you're like the only one on the path, and you're out there and you're running and you're like, this just sucks. This just sucks. This is terrible. I hate doing this. And then you get back, you're like, I did it anyways. It's so awesome. I'm so awesome. Look at what I did. I didn't go to the gym. I went outside and I ran on the path in the outside, and everything about me is soaked and cold. And this is awesome. I'm going to take a shower and eat something. So it's a lot of fun actually. But there were a couple times, like there was one really, really cold day. There was one really super rainy day when I didn't go outside. I went to the gym and I ran on the treadmill, which I don't want to do if I have any choice. So on Sunday, it was a lot nicer. It was actually kind of warm. So Q and Q is my running partner. Q and I decided, and we only run together like maybe once a week, but we're both kind of like kicking each other in the butt. We're gonna do this marathon together. And she's the one who walked into my house with the book and is like, "Who's doing a marathon with me?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm doing a marathon with you," which I kind of appreciate her for. So Q and I decided that we were gonna go running on Sunday evening after she finished work, and we would go running together. My GPS was like pain in the butt, nothing worked. We finally get going. It's like 8:30 at night, and it's gonna take. I know it's going to take me at least an hour 15, an hour 20. Actually, took about an hour and a half because I kind of had some times when I was trying to make something work on my phone, and I ended up going a little bit slower. My miles per my minutes per mile is just like crap, but I don't really care. That's not the point. That's not the point. Okay, so we go outside. We're running. We're running. We're running. We're supposed to run 6 miles. This week was a 3-4-3-6. Next week I think it's like 3-4-3-7, and it just like builds up, and then eventually it's like 3-5-3, and then 4-5-3, and it just kind of builds up your base mileage. So this week was 3-4-3-7. The 3-4-3 easy, not a problem. You know, you just get through it. I have got a nice 3 kilometer or a nice 3 mile run off in one direction on my path, a nice 4 mile run off on the other path mile of the other direction. And in the long run, I just randomly run somewhere until it says I've gone half the distance, and then I turn around, which we did this time. Except that instead of turning around, we crossed a bridge to come back on the other side, and it was a lot farther. And that was a problem because instead of running 6 miles, we ran 6.7, which turned out to be a 10K, a little more than, which is the longest this has all been the longest I've ever run. This is the furthest I've ever run. So it was actually really exciting. It was cold, and afterwards we were walking back, and I look over at Q, and I've been telling her all of the things that are going on in my Zombies Run app that I'm using that's really fun, and I'll do a thing about that at some point. So we're walking back, and I look over at Q, and I'm like, so how much do you want to go to Family Mart, which is basically like a 7-Eleven, but they're like all the 7-Eleven stuff here are really nice. I'm training and talking from Taiwan. So I look at Q, I'm like, how much do you want to go to Family Mart? She says, I've been dying for orange soda. So we go to Family Mart, and I get chocolate milk and like an ice cream bar, and it's just like the best thing ever. Oh my God. I'd forgotten how good chocolate milk is after like something that really pushes you. Anyway, it was the most amazingly delicious thing ever. I came home, I slept for 10 hours. I got up this morning. I did like 20 minutes worth of yoga, all based on stretching and such. Um, Yoga Download has a really nice series of yoga flows, and I will also put that link in the bottom part. Yeah, so that's basically been my week, and I will try to do one of these every week. I'll try. I don't know whether I'll actually get around to it, but I'll try talking about what I do each week as my mileage goes up and I get ready for this marathon. So, bye.